Good evening, cruise mates. It's your wonderful wind mage, your cruise ship captain, Chartreuse Pratsy here, ever at your service. Tonight, I am going back to the Diamond Grind because seeing as how I ended off a little bit above Platinum 4 and bottomed out to top of Platinum 4 with 5 days left, I still need to keep on keeping on my grind, right? So we're gonna do some Apex, and I'm gonna just go ahead and talk a little bit about my day and such going onwards from there. So nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, today's just been a pretty nice day, all things considered, with everything going on here. Let's actually hold on. Let me get some of my music going on in the background here. But I hope everybody's been doing well. It's the middle of the week. It's Wednesday, you know, so we're all just kind of chilling out, having ourselves a good day. And I've seen a lot of my friends been having good days themselves, whether it be coming to their streaming or just being productive in many ways, shapes, or forms. I guess you could say, all of my solo streams always turn out to be, in one way or another, kind of like more podcast-esque, even though I would save podcasts for Pratsy for, Friday this week with the Gale Force boys. But, especially when it comes to, I want to just be able to, talk more to everybody about, more contemporary things going on recently. And I need to actually remember to queue up. At least for me, I feel like there's two things, when it pertains to Apex, especially I've shoehorned myself since I literally didn't touch the game for all of the second half of the sport, and I'm only coming back to it now. I've got the road ahead of me. I have to move up a total of about almost about 3,000 RP. It's 2,600 RP. I'm basically moving up, altogether from bottom Platinum 4, 480 to 720. So because of that, I just have to kind of work it, I'm gonna hope that I can do it. I was able to do it last, on the first sport with 3 days left to spare. I did it on the last week as well, grinded for 3 days straight, and then I got it with 3 days to spare, and now I have 5 days. But I honestly shouldn't be banking on that necessarily. I should have just put my time in earlier. Hey there, Eri. Good luck with that grind? I mean, what can I say? I kinda did that to myself, But I've just been it's a funny thing of it's what's a good word to put it? It's the problem of over-choice in a way, there's just so many choices of games to play right now that I don't have, or it's not okay, over-choice is, I should be more specific, because the problem of over-choice itself is when you're presented with so many options that you find yourself unable to choose. I mean to say more of just, I have so many options of games and such. I was playing 100% Orange Juice with Team Gale Force the other day, up until late at night and such. Or how Knockout City Season 2 is out and I need to play the new movie theater map and a few other things. On me grinding out Monster Hunter, going out for my IRLs today, setting things up. I'm just very busy on that regard, and it's just more of the problem of I am not coming up with the time for everything right now, if that made sense, I'm not succeeding with keeping up with my timetable for these things, and because of that, I am suffering a good little bit when it comes to, wanting to be productive. So I guess the most, the thing that has been the most consistent for me out of everything would be my Pixel Sprites, because I've grinded out 3 in the last week or so, and I've been working on more in the background too. I'm trying to start to comb through my waitlist now, is the biggest thing of it all. So I really want to hit that. And speaking of hitting things, I really want to hit a late drop zone, because I had Apex booted up, but I still have to remember that the first game or two is a mulligan probably, because of how my frames need to load in for Olympus. Hey there, Rooney. Hope you're doing well, sweetie. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, it's just been good, positive work. Am I dead? I thought I said the door open. No, that's just an open way. Open way. the very least, I'll scan for the boys. So that's the best I can do. Hey, frames. Don't worry about stream, everybody. This is just how my games usually go when I'm still loading in. Okay, well, I got 13 damage. That's probably like the best I can ask for right now. Yep. Being struck from behind too, and with 13 frames, yeah. I still gotta remember that until I get my PC upgrades, I'm just gonna mulligan the first game or two. That's something I need to always like, remember as well. But the fact that you can't like practice range on Olympus or any other map, it just sucks because I just always have to just eat the 36 RFE if it's not on my rotation. Oh well. Warm-up game, I mean, yeah. Besides, I'm still earning the stars because I'm still way far off from being able to complete the battle pass. But yeah, like, going on from that especially so, like, I've just been, yeah, busy up with my life, very much so, to where it's like, I can't exactly finish everything that I want to do, or, like, work on everything I want to do. Like, I was 3D printing up a storm the other day, but now but, like, a lot of my projects have just been kind of sitting by because what's his face? I don't have the time to sit down and just paint my stuff, you know? I don't have the time to do that. And if I want to make time, I really have to, what's his face? Put a lot of work out there when it comes to that, matter of fact of like, hey, look, I need to set aside time, and I'm literally making my schedule on that, on like day by day, of just saying, okay, this is my painting time for today, this is going to be my one project. And I have to, like, not necessarily bin my other projects, but, like, hopefully that makes sense in, like, a regard, you know? Held back by the Earth's orbital rotation, it'd be like that sometimes. I mean, it's like, these are two things that you can really look at it, so, though, because, there's always things that I want to be able to do, but it's a difference between not doing enough and overworking yourself to death, you know? Like, I want to be able to do everything that I possibly can, but I also need to recognize myself that, hey, I'm human, and, like, I can't be active all the time when it comes to, like, social media or other things, and I just recognize that, so. Some of my friends, or so, like, I use, like, Guppy and such, for instance, because I always look up to them. They are, like, social media muggles, they like figure out the algorithm, however you want to refer to them as. I know like Curious, even though he's still pre-debut in that sense and such, he really is super popular as, you know, like pre-debut, not only because he's a great person and all, but just because like, yeah, he's able to always be active at all times. He's always replying to like 99% of all the comments that he gets and such on like the tweets that he made, so like 5 every other minute or so. And it's like inspiring to me, just like how somebody is able to do all of that. Oh, I'd have the energy for that. For me, I had never streamed before I had started VTubing before. Hold on, I need to push this man. Thank you. Thank you, teammate. That is fantastic, actually. Alright. Ah, jeez. I pressed the punch button instead of getting my weapon out, and I think that kind of screwed us up. Just do your best, but also in moderation? Yeah. It's like, once again, like, I am very chronically so. Like, if I can work myself to death, and this is gonna sound really bad, I will work myself to death, because whenever I have motivation, I want to, like, run with it. You know? Like, I see, like, if I have, like, yeah, any fleeting motivation or so, I'm going, like, no, look, let me get to the end of my point here. Let me get to the end of my point. If I have the motivation to do something, I'm going to really run to the bank with it, as in, like, I'm going to, like, make the most of my time, and, like, yeah, like, while I have that motivation, the drive to do X or Y, I want to, like, get as much work done before I pewter out. It's just that, like, in the past or so, I've especially, yeah, like, understandably so, burned myself out to a large degree, because I'm constantly working. And that extends, like, to a good amount of, like, content creation or so, too, because the algorithm, as, like, it's so lovingly referred to by everybody in, like, the content creation sphere, of course, will favor people who, like, who are able to, like, constantly post out, or, like, get up to, like, the latest news and everything in between and stuff like that or so. And because of that, it favors people with, like, rich online presences and such. For me, who has never used a darn smidgen of social media before in my life, before I started using Twitter for VTubing and such, or Twitch, I'd never streamed before and such, it is very much so tiresome, and, like, admin work too. So, hands off to, like, all the managers, all the administrators, and anybody of that sort who keep up with this, or, like, who try to keep up with, like, like, of course, the groups and such that they support, because I take care of, like, a lot, like, I take care of a lot of my own work myself. Hold on. Hey, Frames, can you cooperate with me? Thank you for once. Like, gosh, darn it. These frames just suck, dude. Just myself more with the Eva. Okay, you know what? Give me that. Rev's dying. I want us to go support him. Let's win this fight first, because my frames are still dying on me. That's a terrible fight. I missed. Well, I got the down at least. That just comes down to the Gibby. Last one right there. Gibby can probably do it. He has the health. You can just void the man out. That's another team. God. I should have just punched the man, honestly. You got it. Good stuff, boy.
I got you, brother. Last one down. He dropped faster than my air. I got you, brother.
Alright, there we go. But, yeah, especially so, it's just a lot about being able to recognize how much you can do in any given situation. And just, like, knowing your limits, first and foremost, because we're all human. We're all just trying to do the best that we darn can, in every day and situation, Nobody's gonna be perfect. Nobody's gonna be able to do all the darn things. And, like, when it comes to that admin work, like, I'm working so darn much for, for the sake of Gale Force. I want to be able to support my homies, because that's what my little VTube group of Gale Force is. It's really just me and the boys having fun, supporting each other, doing what we can with each other. And it's a lot of work to try to, like, be able to say, alright, I'm gonna be able to keep up with every single person, The Twitter account is a joint Twitter account. Any of us can log on to it and, like, help out and such. But, it's a whole nother story from being able to say, alright, I can manage myself, to I can be able to, interact with, everybody else on the team in a meaningful way, even if it just comes down to, posting one or two things on the Twitters. I'd say it's like, hey, support, our boy, he's streaming or so. So I was working on that, little, official announcement of us for maybe, a good day or two. And then there was also, I'm working on, a whole schedule layout for, day by day. You can see which of us are streaming and which of us aren't and such. And it is, definitely mentally taxing, with how much work I'm trying to like put on. So I wanted to delegate it out to flying, for instance, or so. But unfortunately, not everything panned out the way that we wanted to, and right, flying can't do everything on right for her sake, just right for like her mental health and everything of that sort. But it's like, yeah, dude, like we're trying to like keep a good support structure for all of us, but with just like how times are and how times can be, it's really, really rough on us. Like, as a whole, altogether, you know? And keeping up with yourself is really like one big thing. Being able to keep up with upwards of like your friends, and like in my case that's 5 people if you include me, is, you know, that much more of a story when it comes to especially saying, okay, I think I'll be able to do, like, I think I'll be able to like help in tweeting out, help in supporting, help in giving, you know, that extra love to each and every person, whether it be just like a tweet, a reply or so, and everything in between. And it's a lot more to undertake and be able to say, yes, so like, I'll be able to manage like my own health, sanity, and everything, but also I'll be able to like manage the sanity of like everybody else. Granted, I'm not like involving myself into like how they're doing their streams and such necessarily, but like hopefully that point like rings true a little bit more when it comes to like the overarching point of being able to like support each other and like get the word out. Because it's one thing to promote yourself, but it's another thing to be like, yeah, promoting out like 3, 4, 5 people and being like more online on social media. Because then it's not like a chore, but it still is more of just like, hey, it's your job to like, if you're possible and able to be able to support your friends and such.
Enemy spotted.
So it's just another story of just that. And we all just like, we need to take things at as much as we can at our own pace. Because Flying's in a harder situation. Shadow still hasn't officially debuted out, if you wanted to say that necessarily. Can I hit the rev, please? I can't hit Jet Squat, dude. This sucks.
Recharging shields.
Get the scans out for them.
Recharging shields.
Should probably, what's his face? Like, I need to play on our inside track, quite frankly. Get broken? Alright, that's 2 squads. Yeah. Just need to keep ourselves moving right now.
I'm getting shot.
I can easily live. Get myself a bat. I need to shut up for 2 seconds here. Make sure that we aren't being pursued. Alright, we should be fine now. We're in the range, so we can just take it a little easier, but we are still a little skimpy on meds and everything of that sort. So we are just kind of like worrying about that at the moment. Yeah, it's like, we all just need to like, yeah, slow things down, take things at our pace if possible, for what we can. Because, once again, when it comes to, at the end of the day, we are just human. We are just doing the best that we can, for all things considered. And, quite frankly, all things considered, it is a lot, like, it comes to a bigger degree, since we're all, like, it's not, since, like, we are all, you know, content creation and such. We all want to be able to, like, you know, help each other out, succeed in everything in that metrics. But it's a bigger thing, especially when it comes to, like, our time zones, for instance, and such. We can't always be present for everything, and not every day is going to work out for us in all of its entirety, because, like, you know, we are, like, Flying and Airy are, what's his face, for instance, they are European, whereas the rest of us, Kaito, Shadow, and I, in Gale Force, we are all, and if you want to include the Sith Ranger of Q-Tip, we are all American, so it's a bigger fault with that. Are you sure about that? Flying could literally drive over and visit you, Ari. What do you mean? Music stops. Thank you, Music Chats. But you get what I mean.
Taking fire, brothers.
You get what I mean, Hopefully.
Trolling some
Your schedule sounds more NA than your own. I mean, yeah, y'all are still operating off of that spectrum enough. Just give me 2 seconds here. Yeah, Adrian, this way.
spotting a target for death.
Give me 2 seconds here.
Saw someone over here.
Oh, that's an assist.
Last one's finished. They're all dead now.
Nice one. Cells, they can take whatever else. Yeah, it's fine. That way I can keep the Sentinel charged.
Be my shields.
Let's go. Good stuff.
Healing.
Half the squads remain. We will win now.
Shotgun bolt here. Level 3
here.
Healing.
Here, let's grab this real quick while we can. But, getting back to that. Hey there, Rooney. But I mean, like, especially in, like, day-to-day things or so, like, how, like, you had your, like Shadows streaming Conquest right now, Kaito's playing, Unite with, like, Fairway and 2 other friends, because I was chilling there earlier, and I'm playing Apex right now. Whereas, I know, like, Ari, I think you had ERBS loaded up for today, and then Flang had herself a kind of a Gorilla stream or so. She switched streams or 2, but they all have, Flang's stream happened way earlier, and then, you know, Kaito, Shadow, and I, we're all kind of going right now. And by kind of, we are. We're just going. Hey, Fat. How goes the grind? Warm-up games, where my frames are still loading in, or just kind of, like, we're biting the bullet right now. We're doing what we can.
Care package on high.
Haven't had too much success right now, but that's mostly because, you know, like, my computer is actual dog garbage. But dog garbage, I mean, it's just okay. So, it takes, like, a game or 2 for it to completely load up Apex. So I've been, like, negative, like, 64 so far in my 2 games where I had no frames. And this is game number 3 right now. So we're continuing to check on. And hey, look, we survive one more squad. I'm gonna be from -2 to, like, +3. So we'll take those, right?
They're coming to us.
Doing better than me? Oh yeah, but I also just swapped off on my own grind, so it's like, there's that and everything in between.
They're dropping a replicator.
Hold on. Let's get up top for this. I'm gonna have to shut up for 2 seconds here. Put down. They took something. Wasn't sure. Got a head charge rifle. Oh. Best I can do.
Let's not chase him.
Alright, well, they got the whatever, but it's not a weapon. The Cruzy, those sweet upgrades. Well, actually, what it is that I have the PC parts, but I've always bought my PCs because I had no idea. I was a console kid of all time. So, my friend and mod, of course, RL Soul, is gonna visit me next Friday, and they're gonna help me with my upgrades and such. But until then, I'm still working on my budget, which means I won't have my stuff yet until, until after the split's over, unfortunately. So, we're just gonna have to make do with what we have. Well, I can see the very delayed slow in when I'm zooming in on this stuff. Holy crap, I'm gonna die. Phoenix kit, please, and hopefully the other team doesn't push us in.
Recharging shield.
I really gotta hope that neither team pushes me in. Good stuff. And then this is our rev push. Yeah, it's right. I should be looking a lot better because I got myself a extra graphic card, a bigger fan, and more RAM. So I should be able to just, run everything a lot faster. And we'll all go on from there. Couldn't get him in time. Darn. I was about to say, well, Gibby should be able to get him.
That was the last one.
Good stuff, good stuff. Rev pushes are always nice when you're the one giving them. Of course, when you're receiving, that really sets. But hey, the boys got it. That's all that matters right now, yeah? It's a Digi. Give me the bigger kits. Thank you, sir. Anything I can use? I'll take that. There's most I can do. Yeah, I'll just heat shield for myself. That'll be fine. Which graphics card? I just remember Soul that I sent my specs to Soul, and they just went to PCPartsPicker.com and told me what was the best, and they have built 5 computers themselves, so I'm just trusting their judgment. I'll be kind of honest here. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's in my room. It's in my room. No worries there. I have it still sitting there. It's just that, you know, at the moment, I just don't have my hands on it. But, it's trusted. It's trusted stuff.
We'll just move with this storm.
Alright, so we have the inside trap thing. I only have the 1 heat shield, as opposed to the 2, which could easily screw us up later, because it is ring 4, meaning I get 5 tits in the ring, and that's the most we get. I'm the only one with the sniper. They're poking, but I don't want to poke back, since I already have red shields until they, get into a real, actual fight or so, because we know that our batch is safe now that that squad's dead. Means to my teammates pushing in. I should have swapped to that charge rifle once I overdid my all-star earlier, I will say. But, anyway, yeah. Going on from that, I should be able to run a lot better, and especially, when it comes to that bigger fault of, playing Apex or playing other games, yeah. I already told him, because Soul's first question was what are you trying to do with your PC? And I just said, I just need it to run faster and be able to, run in of itself. So Soul recommended me upgrade. I should have hit the guy while he was healing. Is he still healing? He's just standing. Yeah, probably so. Yeah, they just recommended me the parts that I need and such, and we are going on from there. Oh, you're taking? You know what? 3 damage, and then we move on in. I don't want to be pulling up rear guard too much in the party itself. I need to just stay a lot closer, especially for the scans.
My ultimate is ready. We are blessed.
Yeah, we can hold pretty well, but a Valkyrie or a Horizon could easily screw things up for us. You know, I'm just gonna move away from these real quick.
Enemy spotted. We are inside the ring. Good faith.
Okay, I'm gonna start shutting up a little bit more. I'm just gonna be processing here. Got 5 squads. We know 2 are inside. Thanks for the gunfire and such. We got the 1 above us. Yeah, we need to move. Because that's high ground on us. And we can't fight that at all. He's taking a whole nother fight by himself over there, dude. It's frustrating. I almost let go of the E button when I was rezzing because I thought that was an enemy near us. We just scan and we just stay safe. That's the key right now.
Yeah, let's come in here and we'll hold this like now.
Giving my shields a recharge.
And most shields, but that bull kind of pushing us out. We don't need to hug this one though. I don't have any cells, this
You got
sucks.
totem?
Totem is heavy. Look at this. Do the point. Totem ran out. Scoot. I need to play back.
Recharge my shields.
Need to play towards the chest right now. Shoot. I missed my shots. I deserve that. Octane fucking finished me? Well, Gibby's dead, so this is tough. You just need to survive Revenant there. Didn't do a PC building stream? No. I don't want to mess up anything because like with some of the parts it will involve things like thermal paste and whatever. What are you doing, Revenant? Huh? Oh, whatever. Top 4, I'm not gonna be too sad about. Unlucky position, yeah, we're just being pushed out because we couldn't necessarily Revenant Totem on the corner because if the team on the inside with the Octane and the Fuse pushed us, they just camp the totem, we die. We have to push, like, honestly, we have to push up on the team that is right above on the very top with the Valkyrie and such. But the problem is that the Gibby was constantly taking the fight down below, and the Revenant then decided to help him right there. So I just kind of bled out on my own, especially since Death Protection just kind of went kaput on me because the totem was destroyed. But it's like, yeah, dude, like, we did whatever. I did what I could. You know, yeah, we're just doing what we can, man. We are just doing what we can. But that's his face. Yeah, especially when it comes to with the PC stuff. I know it's like it'll take some thermal paste, and it'll take, yeah, of course, like poison the parts or so. Soul once again has both 5 PCs in their life. I've only bought one, and my dad, actually no, I bought one. My dad gifted me the second one, and then no, my dad gifted me the first one, I should say. I bought my own second one with some good research, but I had always been a console kid. I had played like Xbox 360 and everything in between like that and such. So because of that, like, I didn't know anything about PCs. So I just like, yeah, I solicited information from my friends and like what would be good for pre-builds since I didn't want to worry my head with it. So that's where I am right now. It's not that my raid's bad at all, but like, you know, like a good fine-tuned upgrade wouldn't hurt, considering if you go back to the beginning of my VODs always and you see how bad my stuff is at times. Like, it's real bad, dude. Like, you can see, I'm chugging right now. This could be life and death. And it probably will be, because we know there's a squad here. And I have 3 error messages in red on the top of the screen, and I still don't have a gun. That's a bow check. Okay, you know, that is a gun. Hey, game. He's firing at somebody. That's way far away.
I'm taking shots. Reloading. Recharging my shields.
I saw the man over there. Any guns? No. I want to be left with the bow check only. I want to back up, Joyce. Nothing. Enemies. Okay, I'm gonna have to shut up again with my top hit here. Yeah, okay, you know what? That is honestly very fine, very fair. Give me the shotgun stuff.
There's a fucking dude here.
Trying to help Octane here.
It's a Valkyrie, she's red.
Got a lot of arrows. Can still keep supporting the boy.
Getting health back.
Sensors focusing on that spot.
Charging shield. Come on, come on. Grenade!
I don't want to expose myself necessarily, but I need to be able to support my Octane.
Target spotted.
They're shooting at me.
There's another team behind.
Nice shot. Oh, I think this might be the best that I can do, though. I got sold by the freaking Art Star. This sucks. Yeah, it's just a divide of teams. We are literally in the middle again. Nice. Okay, well that's the lifeline down. She can at least try to leverage the 2. You know what? Honestly, yeah, I was about to say, the Valkyrie wasted her ammo on me. That's fine. Well, Madrid has to just get out of there. Honestly, yeah. Alright, yeah, but that's gonna be big things for Treacherous Proxy going on. Of just being able to level up in that regard when it comes to my, when it just comes to, like, my ability to stream. My games will run a lot smoother going onwards with that. Hopefully, I won't chug as much as Apex. Hopefully, like, my Knockout City performance will be better. Because like, I was able to fix my internet problems a good amount before, so now it's just, like, on the limitations of my computer itself. I'm still very satisfied with the computer, but upgrades are upgrades, people. You might as well take them, right? Because that's, like, the best thing that we can ask for and do. Because for a PC, it's not like a phone, it's not like a phone where you can just, like, hit the upgrade button and just say, you know, like, okay, we're done here. You have to, like, actively go out of your way to, like, of course, get your upgrade parts. That isn't just, like, oh, look, Windows driver has a new update and such like that, so, like, you get where I'm coming from, hopefully, with this here? It's just like, yeah, dude, we're just doing what we can. If it's just servers, well, okay, it's one thing for the Apex servers to be bad, but at least I know it's not my internet now. Whereas this time around, like, when you see, once again, going back in the VODs to see how bad my game is chugging, or like the beginning of that match right there, to where you see 3 error messages, it's like, dude, that's my PC, because it can't load shit. Yeah. And it's like, once again, it's like, I have all respects to, like, all my friends who, like, build their PCs and such like that, so, like, I really admire y'all. Y'all are really, like, changing the landscape. It's just that, once again, it's not my thing at all. It is not my scene, so I will just, like, hey, look, I will solicit the advice very gladly so from you guys. You can take all the credit. I will gladly give it to you, because I don't know how to build a PC. That's your jam? That's, that's a rat jam? That's a rat jam, boys, yeah? I'm gonna have to build a computer for me? It's so, like, what's a good way to put it? Like, an acquired taste, almost? It's like, well, it's an art, rather, I guess you could say. Because especially so with, like, knowing how much room that you have and just, like, what you need to work with. Because, like, dude, like, if there's something that, like, the internet does not get wrong, it's when they're discussing PC part building and, like, being able to, like, of course, yeah, it's the internet. You'll have the flame for it's like, why are you doing this to your baby computer chasis and, like, the lovely tower and such. But, like, on the other end of the stick here, like, especially so, like, it's, like, from, like, soliciting the advice and everything in between, you also get the people who, like, will be, like, trusted with my life. This is the best thing you can have on the market. Everything here, I'll set you up for life, kid. You just, like, you just really just tell me what you need. And it's, like, really supportive and good stuff in that regard, you know? Alright, so we only have one squad near us. Check the behind crates here. I guess, like, you just still haven't that up to, like, any internet forum of any kind or so, you know? That's what any internet forum will be. You'll find, like, the good aids amidst the bad aids, but you just have to pick, like, cherry pick apart, you know, like, what the best can be. Let's stick towards our octane is what I'm thinking right now.
I see an enemy over there. Firing! Taking fire!
Face me down, I dare you. Shield swap! He's got a shotgun! This sucks! And they're all 3 right there, dude. Like, holy crap. That just sucks. I wanted to go in, but then you saw a frame stutter, and then there's 3 of them. I was able to shield swap and get like 20 points of damage on Gibby, and that's it. Ah, well. It's a sore day, right? It's a sore day. You can't expect the best out of everything, so you'll just do the best that you can. Once again, like, yeah. the fact that I've been able to get so far in streaming with, I wouldn't say the dinky setup that I have, because that would be majorly discrediting what my setup's been able to achieve throughout all this time. It's really an achievement to me, especially so, that I feel, because I'm like, I don't know what quality the stream is at. I think it's just like lot 640, like 640p for you guys, but like normal bitrate for streaming I know is supposed to be something like what am I trying to say here? It's around like what, 4,500 bitrate? Yeah, I stream at like a very, very compromised like 1,800. It is very, very compromised. But yet, the fact is, people can still tune in, and I don't see any complaints about it, even with like how low the quality of the stream and whatever is. Yeah. And hey there, Flying. Hope you're doing well. I'm just saying, so like, good. Even though like the overall quality is less, the fact is, like, yeah, like less in like a literal sense of like my video quality is so compromised that I'm streaming at like a very bad stream resolution and everything in between. The fact that I'm still able to do what I do, I'm like, yeah, it's like, hey dude, I'll pat myself on the back, because I am pleasantly surprised with what I've been able to accomplish and everything in between, you know? Yeah, 648p. It's so specific, but there's only one reason for it, Ari. Because my fucking my bitrate quality is 1,800. My quality is so bad that that's the best I can do. Because my computer starts dropping frames after that. And said, look, I could like complain about it all I want, jokingly of course, and everything in between. But like once again, fact is, I've still serviceably gotten away with it so far. You know, I haven't dropped any frames. I can hold this at stable. Is the main crux of my argument here, and I will like I keep saying, I'll run with that to the bank. Quite frankly, so. There's no complaining on my part because we take those. It just works, you know? It just straight up works. Gun or bitrate, please? You see right there? I need my computer to be better because I open up the crate. I get nothing. I just get one tapped. Like, please. Like, the fact that I can't fight in these drop fights just really sucks for me, you know? I will vehemently complain about that, because that's not a server thing, that's my computer thing. Exactly straight so. Granted, I could also be Jump Master, but, yeah. That's not always in the cards. Nice go, Wraith. Yeah, you can shield swap that easily. Yeah, that's the problem though. You do not go in thirst when you have, you know, like, dude, people are so damn thirsty nowadays. Like, the thirst just goes so exponentially high to the roof in what's his face, in every season onwards, that it survives, that it always just continues to surprise me about how like people will continue to like sacrifice the integrity to like just get that sweet juicy like 12 RP. Like, just keep yourself alive, dude. For sure, I drink so much more water. Yeah. I mean, so like, here's the thing. If you want to put the argument out there that it's the Apex servers that caused me to like chud right there, say that to the Octane that knocked me down. Did he chud? Obviously not. So, there's your discrepancy problem right there, dude. I chud. He didn't. Like, you seeing the point that I'm making here? It may be still Apex's problem, but like, you know, it's like a damage report. A good part of it, you can still chalk it up to the fact of my compromised setup is still not the best. not trying to discredit the fact that like Respawn needs to grant better servers to Apex. So like, gosh darn, please, or we're gonna have like like the hacker problem again with like Save Titanfall 2 and all that such. But like we like you need to have a good infrastructure, especially if Apex is going to be your cash cow of a game. You know, if there's no direct support structure for being able to keep Apex afloat, it is a very muddled ground between keeping your fan base happy and keeping them just playing your game in general, you know? Because a unhappy fan base that like starts to like drop your game and such will no cap, just like, yeah, drop it permanently. And especially in the scape that we are in with how, yeah, just like how games are, like with how many games there are in the market, like with like my talk of like overchoice and just market saturation, you do not want to be dropping those games. Oh yeah, like, don't get me wrong, optimization of the game, like, every year, or I say every year, like, every, season, it feels like an actual truck hits the servers every single time there's a new season. It's like, I'll be hype as heck for the seasons, of course, and such, but at the same time, it's like constantly optimistic. I literally hit it on purple, and then I got white. I should have known better. Because it's like, okay, it's new content, great, but with like, all the extra flame particles from World's Edge destroyed and everything of that sort, like, dude, is my game gonna even be able to run it? Like, at all? Please? That's all I'm gonna ask for, dude. I just want to play the game. And the fact that, like, it's unironically becoming, like, my barrier to entry to just play the darn game is, of course, going to be a huge deal breaker to me. Somebody who is part of your integral audience. Casual, competitive, or anything in between, you know? The fact that, like, the servers and such alienate your player base or so, you have to remember, once again, my setup in of itself isn't a bad one. It's like, it's a fine one by just standards. But for like all of my setups, I'd say like maybe kind of like middle of the path with like how my setup is. That means that, yeah, the higher end people are eating just fine, but then where does it leave the people on the lower end of the spectrum, dude? Like, they are not, like what that means is that they are, like, gonna have a worse situation than me, and it can't, like, and it'll be, like, so unplayable to where, like, they'll drop it sooner than me. I don't know what you mean by FWIW. Like, I have no idea what that abbreviation means. I'm sorry, friend. For what it's worth? Okay, no, yeah, there you go. But it's like, it's especially, yeah, like, it's like same old story, especially stuff just kind of like, what, servers aren't optimized, things are chugging, and so like, you can, once again, add all this great new content and such, but it does nothing for, like, but even when rolling out all this great new content, it's no good if your player base can't play it. And yeah, you may get like an influx of people wanting to play the game or so, but let's say you are a new gamer coming to season 10, which will be when Seer comes out after this season. What's the like, if you can't even run the game, like, on your first boot up and try, like, yeah, you get through the tutorial, and then you can't actually play a normal game because you chug so much, you're not gonna pick up the game again, because, yeah, it's literally unplayable. And that's the long and short of it, you know? And that's the one and only deal breaker that you need for the entire game. You will never touch it again unless you go out of your way to say, like, I'll update my computer to play the game. Actually get shredded, nerd. No! Let me go! Ah, shoot, dude. I'm just gonna medkit up, honestly. I can't shield swap for shit right now. Could Apex have Season 5 due to not running it? Last I played was Chosess with V and such. No, yeah. But like, my point especially so still stands with everything here. Of like, what it comes to. Because like, fact is that, yeah, even if you're playing chill and such, it still isn't an alienation because you won't touch it again until you get an upgrade or so. Like, that's what I had to like, tell Flying to do with like Knockout City, for instance. I'm just kind of like, look, dude, you have to accept it. Yeah, you can play the game, but you play it so compromised that you can't tell what's going on half the time and you are frame skipping. You just can't play the game. And once again, for the people with lower end setups and such, that just means that it's not the fact that like you don't want to play the game, it's just, it literally is so unplayable that it's not an option to you anymore. And it sucks! Because that is like, yeah, prospective customers and everything, like prospective customers, influencers, anything in between that just does not have a way to play your darn game. And that is a very big oversight and failure on the companies as a whole, because it's tone deaf to say it's like we cater to all audiences and not be able to like help out, yeah, your casual viewer base and such. It's like Apex, for instance, it ropes in so many people from all different like classes and such like that. There's a lot of like casual VTubers and everything of that sort that just play for the fun of it with their friends. But not all of them have the best darn setup for this stuff exactly right here. I wanna hold on. Yep, that's really just Phoenix Kid and hold the door. Just, yeah, we're all taking your dad hits right now. Yeah, everybody just took way too much poke. All of us included there, so that's just bad. There's a counterpoint though. High bar in entries, it means typically audience will have more money spent on DLC and cosmetics. I can see that point here, but it's like, it's not exactly just kind of like, you know, like, can't run on potato PC, bad. Can't cater to like high DLC and audiences, good. But at the end of the day, especially so with like my friends that I know from game dev, it is a lot on being able to retain your audience, because especially so if like with the way of it is, like I would use like for example of like Fortnite, despite like, you know, the biggest boom has died down and everything in between, it's still very relevant for how they constantly pump out new content, and yeah, like their new outfits and everything in between that they're able to keep going. And the fact is, dude, I run that game at like almost like a seamless like 50 to 60 frames, and I played it without changing a single darn graphics setting. It's not my game, but the fact that I can run it means that if like my friends play it or so, I'm very incentivized to just say, you know what, yeah, screw it, I'll play Fortnite. I can download in like less than like 10-20 minutes and I can run it pretty well. Yeah, that you might have a bigger audience to spend on DLC and cosmetics. You'll always have the cash cows in each and every different game, but at the end of the day, if the bar to entry keeps getting higher and higher every like season or every big patch, for instance, or so, the fact is that the retention of your player base, of the people who can say, I can run this game comfortably and I'm willing to put my money down on it, the fact is that the DLC and cosmetics, once again, who's buying it? Your player base. If your player base is shrinking constantly because many of them just can't run the game, can't play it on a good enough level, that's not a return on investment. You are literally losing your customers and just telling the ones that are staying that, hey, you can get these great cosmetics in this greatly reduced player base. It's like, DLC, microtransactions, you can say whatever, but the numbers don't lie at the end of the day. If you have lots and lots of people still playing the game, that's lots of people playing the game. If you're losing numbers, then there's your numbers problem. I'll use like the example of like Rainbow Six Siege, for instance, or so. Even though it still is like a widely popular esport, even though, you know, like it is definitely like a big cash cow of a game and there's still lots of people playing it, if you look to like the Steam charts and such, it is actively dying season to season. yeah, there's like new stuff being introduced or so, but like people don't like the state of the game that's going in or so. Or especially like for me, dude, I can't even get past the intro sequence before the game just actually just like soft locks on me. I literally cannot play the game worth a damn. And that is like my barrier to entry from ever being able to play the game.
Passing out before even taking a sip.
Because especially like I'll go on with like low bar to entry. What is like one big ass market right now? Mobile. You wanna know how much, like, it was a statistic that was just posted out recently. You wanna know how much League of Legends made on Wild Rift on mobile? 10 million since their release. 10 freaking million. Because it's accessible. Anybody can play it on like whatever device they want and such. And yeah, it's there for people to play. Rainbow Six does not have that argument. They are just PC only. Their seasons are all out there, and yeah, they're out there, but people have to have a PC to be able to play it. And in my position, like I'm telling this once again, from my position especially, so I can't play it. Even like I can't even change the graphics settings to low and shit, because once again, it like plays the Ubisoft logo, and then it just hard crashes on me because my computer can't fucking run it. Yeah, like, that's another example. CSGO? Yeah, the barrier to entry is so damn low on that thing. Like, so many people still play it and shit because the barrier to entry is low. Yeah, like, it's like low. You just have to buy the game, which is not a problem at all. It's so damn cheap on Steam and whatever all the time. It goes in constant sales. It's got a variety of like modes and whatever, and like Valve supports it, like competitive scene and all, for instance, or so.
We got ourselves a new kill leader.
Can't run the new Splinter Cell games since only Nvidia cards are supported? Yeah. For Fat Stace, not being able to run Splinter Cell means that is audience gone completely. It's not a, oh, I might play this game. It's just a, I'll never be able to play this game. Straight up. No, like, if I want to, like, I'll send you like my PC specs area. They aren't anything too special, but yeah, I just can't even boot up the game to change a darn setting. But like, hopefully, like, my point is like being put out there, especially so of just kind of like, you cannot actively you can't actively put your game out there on the market and expect it to, you know, like, be able to survive on like your DLCs and microtransactions. It's like the argument of like MOBAs or so with like expansions. You are constantly building upon a game that people have expectations for, and especially with like content, retention is still the biggest question. How are you gonna retain your core audience? How are you gonna keep them playing the same game over and over and over again with like your new content and your patches and everything of that sort or so? And even if they are like some of the most passionate people that love your game and everything of that sort, if they can't play it, it's just as simple as that. They can't play it, and all the passion and love will be spirited away because they just can't play your game.
Coming in.
Straight up.
Backpack, level 3.
And that's just like, once again, yeah, it's just like, it's the death of a player base. Because the fact that like they cannot access your game in any way, shape, or form, you will dwindle numbers each and every time. DLC only caters to the people who can play the game and have the money to spare, because they will be able to, like, and if they don't have the computer to run it, you can bet your ass that they're not going to be able to buy any of the DLC. For me, with Apex, even though it runs like pretty garbage for me right now, fact is, you know, when I played it back in Season 1, it was really well optimized for it. Yeah, I could just play the damn game, dude. I could play the damn game. I bought the Battle Pass Season 3, and I've just earned it for free, because I played it and maxed out the Battle Pass enough to where I got all the credits back for free every single time, because I played the game and I love it so much.
New kill leader. They can have it. My sights are set high.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, that's like the one like big cravat, especially with like mobile games now, of just like its size limitations, and I guess that's like the barrier to entry there. But like, if you're gonna go out of your way to like play a big mobile game, you'd expect to have a bigger storage capacity space. Oh, like, if you're gonna play more than one, I should be more specific there. If you're planning on playing more than one mobile games, like, I have, like, Genshin and, like, Teamfight Tactics. And that's all that I've got for, like, any big name games. I don't have anything else. But, it's like, even then, like, if you're gonna be playing, like Wild Rift or so, and you want to play it to, like, a bigger extent, like, I guess I'd go, like, competitive on that, or, like, Pokemon Unite on the Switch or so, barrier to entry's lower on Switch because it's just Switch space. You can save your progress. Yeah, mobile accounts, you can just save your progress on that. You can bind your accounts to Riot Games and such like that. Keep your stuff there. And it's quite easy since, as you said, for the mobile market, besides, like, yeah, you may have to pay for some games, right? For, like, the bigger names, of course, when it comes to things like, what's his face, for instance. Okay, hold on. Give me 2 seconds here. There you go. That one's dead. Close it out. Ah, it's frustrating. Alright, best thing I could do is just try to self-res in the corner. I'm gonna bleed out otherwise to the ring. Yeah, that just sucks. 2 squads. 2 squads, Valkyrie down immediately. But, like, yeah, it's just, like, with your market, even then, like, size limitation is, like, one thing or so, but once again, like, that's, like, Genshin is so damn huge, for instance, or so. I get that. Teamfight Tactics is, like, 2 gigs. Genshin's, like, 5. Girls Frontline is, like, 4. Hearthstone's, like, 7. That's, like, the biggest game I've ever had to install ever. And such like that or so. I get it. I really do get it. But, like, when it comes to, like, optimization of games or so, yeah, the game might be big for, like, Hearthstone on mobile or so, or Teamfight Tactics, but it'll, like, unless you're running, like, most of the mobile games or so, it'll only run in, like, iPhone, like, what, X and above now, or whatever? Like, it's really just kind of like you can't download it. And that's just, like, made clear from the get-go when the game is put out there. Whereas, like, with PC games or so, if you don't have the money to invest on making your parts, and the company doesn't want to help optimize their game better, it's just a lose-lose for you, because they are losing a valued customer, and you are losing the chance to play a game that you like, that you'll probably spend less time or no time now, because you just can't play the damn game. For my case of Apex, the fact that I literally cannot play the game for the first 2 matches of my rank because it's not on rotation, I can't load it in otherwise, and my computer's, yeah, that compromised, especially on the drops, that, yeah, the game just ain't playable for me. It's frustrating. It really is so frustrating. Because I love this game. I love Respawn Studios. Titanfall 2 has been and will continue to be my favorite shooter of all time. And Titanfall 2 runs fantastic every time that I've been able to play it. But Apex, it continues to deteriorate each season, and as time goes on, especially so, I'm excited about Season 10, but I'm also very nervous about Season 10, with just the ability to even play. You know? Because, like, if you see, even with no fights going on, the fact that I am chugging this much right now, how bad will it be in just a week or 2 when the season drops? Is my game going to be playable in any way, shape, or form?
Optics here. Close range.
You know? That's the thing that I'm very cautiously optimistic about. Because it may get to a point to where I won't be able to play the game. And yeah, there's the argument of, like, yeah, Soul's helping me refine PC parts, so I can't be like, oh, Apex is doomed to me forever and such. Because at least for me, I'm getting that upgrade. But not everybody can. not everybody can, not everybody will be able to. And that's where it breaks down, you know? That's where everything starts to break down from there on. Barrier to entry gets higher. It gets a lot harder for people to play, to the point that people don't want to play, and they will just play like Unite instead, because they can literally just grab and go, download it, and they are high cruising. The barrier to entry is really just, do you have storage space on your Switch? You can archive games easily, you have your Nintendo Switch Cloud, and then you're good. You're playing Pokemon Unite. Congratulations.
There's a platform ticket for it.
But yeah, like, let's start looking at the bigger picture, because especially so, like, I'm one part of the audience, but I am, like, once again, with, like, my connection and such, I am very, like, very much so in the direct middle of the audience. I have, like, pretty average setup and everything else in between. So, like, looking at from, like, yeah, the high-end people, like, the people with, like, higher-end PCs and such, they won't have any problems. The people with lower ends, though, like, worse, like, if you're seeing on stream, like, how bad the game chuds for me, how bad is it for everybody else that can't afford to play the game? Because I'll route back to that argument of, like, it's, like, Apex has got to be, like, it's, like, besides Splatoon, what other casual shooter is there, at least, like, when it comes to, like, streaming, especially so, that people can play, are willing to play, and will gladly play if given the chance? Team Fortress 2 is there, yeah, but, yeah, free-to-play, yeah, like, with, like, their own, like, yeah, they're free-to-play, and they're all that sort of so, but TF2's kind of, like, they're not getting updates, you know? It's kind of in the back. If you want to say something, Flying, like, if you have an answer, tell me. Like, to my question or so, like, cause I'm just, like, putting my point out there. But, once again, barrier to entry, and, like, how are people going to be able to enter your scene? How are people going to be able to play in your scene? And Apex, like, I'll use, like, a few good examples or so, like, Chaco, like, from Hololive, for instance, or so. She really doesn't play shooters as much. She plays more, like, Dead by Daylight and, like, and other stuff or two or so. But, like, the one shooter that she does play is Apex Legends. Like, other Hololivers, like, that I really don't say play shooters, like, Fubuki, for instance, or so, or Roboto, they play Apex. Chaco actually just got up to Platinum recently to play with Asto in, like, a tournament or so, for instance, or so. And because of that, hey there, Broken. We're talking about just, like, being able to, like, play games, the barrier to entry, and everything of that sort. But, the fact is, like, they are your casual audience, and the core fact of that is that they are able to play your game. Yeah, they may not be the best at it. Yeah, they may just be, like, yeah, like, your platinum players or so, but the fact is, they are still your audience, you know?
Opening fire. Recharging my shields. Reloading.
Have fun. This sucks. Burn alive. Stupid great. Go Clusters! We're in between two squads again, dude. This really sucks. We go into engage on one, and then there's two squads. Like, why? Why every time, dude? We just can't win. I've just been dropping all game. Oh no, I raised hand because I'm in the can't afford to run Apex crew. Oh, okay. I thought you meant, like, because I was like, when I saw that you said raised hand, that was when I was talking about, like, is there any other, like, casual shooter on the market that people are actively playing? As about to say, it's like, what's free to play? And, like, is, like, very widely known that people can play. Apex? Team Fortress 2. Yeah, dude, like, there really isn't too, okay, like, Fortnite is there, I actually just, like, but, I'm being very narrow-minded for, like, the fact of, Fortnite, say what you want, you can run the game, you can download and just play the game. I could not change a single graphics setting, and I could play the game just fine. For Apex, I am running literally lowest compromise settings and everything of that sort, with everything except texture budget lowered to all degrees, and like, dude, it's pain. It's pain that once again, that's like, I have to treat 2 games every day as warm-up games to where I just have to just bite the bullet, lose the 64 RP where I am in Platinum right now, and just say, there's nothing I could do, dude. Like, you know? The fact that I'm literally to that point where, yeah, I just have to just say that, just, as I say, there's nothing I can do, I'll just have to, yeah, eat my RP loss just to play my favorite, one of my favorite games right now? That's no good.
Let's land here.
Yeah, they don't control the engine, but, well, okay, I get your point there, but the fact is that it literally goes back to, like, what I was saying before. Seasons, like, 1, 2, and 3, I could play the game 100% fine. No problems at all, no optimization. Servers, yeah, they were kind of meh, but I was able to still play the game completely so. Now, as the seasons go on, the fact that I'm getting more of, like, one of the Deadly 5, you know, server, like, game issues at the top right, like packet loss, connection loss, or anything of that sort or so, consistently, that I'm consistently getting one of those, or one or more of those Deadly 5 signs of, like, your computer going to crap, or the server's going to crap, that is not good. That is way not good, you know?
Next ring's far. Wingbuster.
We ordered backpack here, level 2. Evo shield here, backpack here, level 2.
No, double Spitty Boy. You know what? Screw it. You might as well. This is both off of brands of Source Engine. I mean, Epic. Who does Fortnite?
Opening fire. Void running.
Need to support our Wraith. Enjoy, loser. I wanna fight Waterloy. Wow. That sucked. They can still fight over here.
Cloud here, kill that jump.
Go faster. Reloading.
Can't get it. Oh well. That's one kill at least.
I need light ammo. Charging up my shields.
Optics here, close range.
Fact is, we got them off, and then we could also just watch the body in case they do come back.
Charging my shields.
This has been known since release to questionable. Yeah, it's been getting progressively worse, and so worse, especially so in that context once again of just
Level 2.
being able to just goddamn play your game. The fact that it's actively a chore to be able to play your game, Respawn, that is darn no good at all. Because it's right, Olympus, I've had to resign myself, so yeah, once again, I just have to say, okay, 2 of my games are just gone. 2 of my games are gone anytime I want to warm up, because Olympus ain't on the regular rotation. So I just have to, yeah, bite those bullets.
Patching myself up.
I don't think they're coming back.
We've got
And then that's when they come back.
Level 2.
Oh well. I'm just gonna be running on heavy ammo and heavy ammo
Heavy
exclusively
ammo
here.
here.
I'll come back to that. Let me get my crafting materials. I probably swap one of my Spitfires, but like, yeah, like, once again, it's just like, it's sad from my perspective, especially so, because, you know, like, the fact that I'm gonna have lots more of these problems, especially so until I do get my, what's his face, until I do get my computer a little bit more optimized, just sucks. Just straight sucks, you know? I have no idea where that scam is from. I'm over here.
Listen up, fellas. The ring's moved.
Yeah, that's where they are.
Detected enemy. Okay. Opening fire.
Have fun. Oh, that's a decent hit.
Need to recharge my shields. Frag out! It's go time. Taking fire. Here's that. Starting to
Recharging my shield.
Discharge shield. I need to back up a lot of the way, honestly, because I'm far from my teammates. I'm gonna try to go in.
shot at.
It's fine if I take the hits, since I can just keep taking for my teammates. Yeah. 2 downs, 1 more left. Good stuff. Good stuff, team.
We put down the last of that squad.
Good kill.
Shield battery here. Heat shield here. Recharging
Are you really
shield.
want to install Apex when 10 comes out? I just put off the idea? Or, yeah.
You'll be right.
Once again, it's just like, you can't play the game, and that's gonna be the problem for you constantly going onwards, all the time flying. Cause it's just like, once again, audience is gone. There's nothing that,
Recharge my shields.
like, Apex will be able to fix in that regard, because you just can't run it at all.
The champion made a poor choice.
And say, like, yeah, like, we can say what we want about anything and everything in between, like, Apex side, but, like, at the end of the day, yeah, can you or can you not run this game? And the answer, for, like, your case one, is just, you can't. You just can't. Give me that, I'll set the med kit. And that'll be honestly fine.
Come on. Throwing jump pad. Shotgun.
Alright, let's get in here. It's like every season in Apex is just such an uptick in in player base, especially so, and how everything is. So especially when it comes to, it is like a huge event all the time to be able to just experience the new Apex season, see what's new, and we forget that like Apex has always been and will continue to be, at least for the good foreseeable future, like really big trending on Twitch and all of that sort, you know? It will just continue to hold that appeal for all of that such. And so, for everything that it has.
Juicing me shield.
Alright, let's take our heals as we need to.
Come on.
We're comfortable in the ring, but we could be susceptible to a third party. We don't have mobility except for Octane. Oh, no, we have mobility, but it
Recharging
depends
my
on
shields.
CDs.
Someone's out there.
But especially so, like, it just comes down to can the teammates quiet or not? Can the friend group quiet? Can they? Or can they not? It literally doesn't get any simpler than that. I want to stay behind the bigger rods. That way we actually have cover to work around. Because we see a Gibby, and that's all that we know right now. Okay, there we go. High ground. It's perfect. Yeah, go into that, nerd. I've got another one.
On your feet, mate.
Need to get Octane up so we can actually take a 5-3v3.
My shields. Need more juice. Using Phoenix keeps me getting shot at. Reloading.
I suck. Get some knuckle clusters in there.
Faster, faster, faster.
I'm gonna push with Octane.
Clusters firing. Replicator on its way.
Charging up my shields.
Get the thermies out.
Right here. Thermite out. Half the squad's are dust, and the rest are dust in waiting.
Reloading. Down one. I'm down. Bad guy. Do this.
Platoon.
Tossing out a respawn beacon. That was the last. Come here, little banner. Recharging me shield.
Good thing I had that beacon on me. That's great stuff, because we can get Octane back in. Double Spitfire is actually so stupid. If you have the ammo to work off of it, let's go.
Got us a new kill leader.
Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. That's a solid fight. We just kept pushing them out, let them have no quarter. Eat shield, thank you, sir. I'll take the Zard stars.
Healing up.
Good stuff. I could use more on shield cells, of course. I'll swap a stack of syringes for it. Glad we're so. Thank you, sir. Yep, we are grooving high right now. Grooving high, grooving well. Octane's back in the game. I have a good amount of Spitfire ammo. I think I'd do with one more stack, rather.
Pretty close.
Possibly. I'll stack the grenade slot for that.
Opening fire. Reloading.
Bloody Joker over there. Hold on to your hats.
45 seconds. But we could just walk it.
Need to get the high ground here. Right now.
Recharging your shield.
Prime the Art Stars.
Rings near with 30 on the clock. Half star away.
Yeah, get stuck, nerd! Get stuck! My spray sucks! My spray sucks! I should have put a knuckle cluster down there, dude. I really should have. I don't play Fuse enough. That just sucks. Yeah, Wraith going down immediately. I only need to just provide as much support fire to keep them from pushing. It's a pretty nice, what's its face though? It was a pretty nice stick from the Fuse. Because that means, like, yeah, I was about to say, that's just a guaranteed kill, and I should have ADS'd for it. I just didn't want to, because I know for a fact I was still zoomed in into the ×4. So that was the main problem right there. But, like, I want to talk about other stuff, really, so. Because I've been going on and on about this, you know, like, overarching point, of course, of just, like, being able to play your game, but it's just simply what it comes to, you know? If I can't play, then I won't play. And I probably won't, you know, like, put it on my feed, I won't keep up with the news for it, anything of that sort or so. The only thing I keep up with Rainbow Six Siege, even though I can't play it worth for shit, is a competitive scene, because I love watching esports. Best ranked games is Crypto? Yeah, but I need to complete my Battle Pass, so I'm doing the Battle Pass challenges too.
Give this a blast.
I'm trying to knock out both, trying to knock out two birds with one stone, you know?
Boxing ring. I reckon I'm up for some big fun.
So, because of that, yeah. Because I'm only still, like, what, level 83 on the Battle Pass for 5 days? If I want to avoid spending 15 bucks or so, like, however much it is, to get the Battle Pass, then I'm also going to gun for what's-his-face here. Oh god, game, don't chug like this right now. We need to win this fight. Gun? That's 1. That's 2. Let's make this work. Down. I ran out of ammo. Nah. I ran out of ammo, dude. That sucks. Gonna head off. Have a fun rest of the stream. Yeah, alright. Have a good night, Sue. Here, let me check this. I'm ranked 90, so I'm almost ready to complete the Battle Pass. I just want to be able to finish the rest of my challenges. Because I had one for Fuse that I was still doing, and I just did it. Perfect. Let's see here. Wraith, Octane, Loba. So, Octane challenge is what I'm probably going to start looking for then. Yeah, I got 3 Octane challenges, which I can do. That's an arena challenge. Let's reroll that. 2 kills. That's going to be easy too. And then a finisher. Easy. So yeah, Octane challenges. And then I can go to Octane. switch to Bangalore, and then I can just play crypto for the rest of it. But right, yeah. Yeah. What else did I want to talk about here? Gale Force. We love Gale Force in this house here. I'm so glad that, like, yeah, it's my group. Yeah, we're not doing anything special like big collabs with other groups or like a group cover, even though I'd love to do that sometime. We're literally just the homies. Like, you know, like me and the boys cracking open the cold one with the boys, that's us. Though I do want us to become a lot more official for the future, and you know, I should add in my Twitch panels the fact that the fact that we have our Gale Force Twitter, because we need to promote that a lot more. So we have like 14 followers on it right now, and granted, it really just started out, but I need like you guys, for like my Gale Force members. The thing that I want to talk about is actually two things of like two things when it comes to... shoot, I was tapped out, so I'm still fused. Not fused, I'm Gibby now. I just heard fused in the background. I just looked at it as I'm looking at my OBS. But, I have Gale Force in my own Twitch bio, but not my Twitch bio, my Twitter bio, but I'm going to update that now to be at Gale Force VT. If possible. Yeah, perfect.
Looks like I'm the jump master.
Gale Force VT. I'm Jump Master because nobody ever wants to be. We'll go solar
Someone
then.
in here.
Yeah, I already got it on. One thing I wanted to touch on that I really do like about VTube culture that I will say is what's called your idol mark. At least like to me, like I'm gonna use my own biased point of view because I've watched Hololive the most out of like VTuber groups. Is what the idol mark is that it's basically the emoji that you yourself associate with. So like, I'll use like a few good examples, like Natsuru Matsuri has like, you know, the lantern as her thing. My idol mark is my sparkles, like my hair clips for instance and such. And what it is that not only is it a way to like be an identifier for you yourself, but it's also like for any fans of your content, they can put that on, and then, you know, right then and there, it showcases their support for you. You know, this was a mistake. Shh. I didn't expect all three of them there, I just expected one. You know, that's a hard throw from me. Alright, just running away, Bloodhound. This is a throwaway game, this is a throwaway game. Oishi Mark, yeah, or Idol Mark, otherwise known. Yeah, I was about to say, I had it in, like, our announcement tweet, for instance, of, like, I had, like, beside next to, like, our stuff, I had my sparkles, and I had Flame's Black Heart, but then, like, Shadow, Eri, and Kaito, you guys just don't have an Idol Mark at all. And so it's kind of like, I feel like that could be much better for branding if we could. Because I'll use one good example of, like, the manager for the Hollow Stars. He, like, every day, he always puts out of, like, hey, here's this day's deliveries. Deliveries isn't, like, streams. It's basically, like, what the translation comes out to be. And it's always kind of, like, 8 p.m. It's, like, Aran or Tenma or whatever. And it, like, has, like, their Oishi Mark, their Idol Mark right next to it. And because of that, it is... like, I can easily recognize at a glance, like, oh, who they are, and I'll, like, and also, like, things come from it, for example, so, like, Aran, Pizza Papa, because his Oishi Idol Mark is a pizza, for crying out loud, and, like, Italian culture, whatever, you know, jokes, and everything of that sort or so, and, Bloodhound, if you come back for us, you are not gonna get our fuse, like, yeah, you're not reaching fuse, dude. You can get me, but you are not gonna get our fuses. You took way too damn long. F you. Yep, there you go. And he DC'd immediately. Ha 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 ha. Oh, what can you do? Oh, it's some, I mean, like, standardized emoji. Yeah, emoji to associate with us. So, like, from my perspective, especially so, like, and with, like, me being me, I'm a business major in school, and yeah, you can get by word of mouth or clips, but smart branding is always gonna be a huge thing. Branding, putting yourself out there, making yourself that you are recognizable, literally, like when somebody looks at you, for instance, or so. The fact is that you are just, like, it's a lot more recognizable. If I ever think of, like, a lich in VTubing, I only think of Fruit, vs Apricot, of V-Shoujo. If I think of, like, a pirate or so, the only person that comes to my mind immediately is, well, there's actually two. There's Hoshun Marin of Hololive, and then there's Emmy, Cobalt's friend, and also, yeah, pirate. Those are the only two people that come to my mind immediately so. Yeah, I was about to say, I know, like, Pecora, she, of course, she's Usagi, she's a rabbit, so, like, but there's no, like, I don't think there's necessarily a bunny emoji, so what she uses instead is, like the two people dancing thing. They, like, signify, not, I guess, like, signify, like, her ears, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yeah, like, it's, like, the fact is, if you can recognize, like a VTuber instance or so, quite literally just from, like, you know, like, what they do, like, if I think, like, Adidas, for instance, like, in Hololive, like, and, like, a VTuber, the first person that comes to my mind is Shurosuro Botan, Gen 5, from Hololive, because stuff like that, or, like, Toko, too, actually, because Toko also, very famously so, wears Adidas. The fact is that once you, like, start branding yourself, like, an association, like my hair clips, for instance, or so, you then, like, start making it a lot more recognizable for people to just say, oh, yeah, like, you see the symbol? It's like, oh, that makes me think of X or Y. And it lets you really promote yourself out there on a much wider scale and regard of that sort there, you know? That's what it especially comes to, because branding is a huge part in, like, so you'll never stop you'll never stop growing and, like, and continuing to, like, do the stuff that you do. If you want to put, like, the pedal to the metal and, like, yeah, your VTube and, like, or I say VTube, that's a little narrow-minded, in your content creating career. But the fact is that if you want yourself to grow, you just have to be smart about it. How can you make yourself grow other than making content? Being active on, like, social media, engaging with, like, viewers or other personalities and such. Like, yeah, like, doing things to catch people's attention, like collabs, challenges, subathons, donathons, whatever else you want to call it and such like that. And especially so, branding. Because, like, say what you want, but, like, listen, as content creators, we are all, like, you should still have the most original concept out there, but if you don't say a darn word about it, it's not getting out there. It's just kind of, you know, like, listing lazily in a direction. I use, like, one good example of, like, I saw some, like, drama the other day of, like, there's, like, two, I think, like, demon VTubers or so that had really similar designs to each other, and one of them was accusing the other, like, basically, like, what the whole thing came out to was the fact of, like, there's, like, fan art of one person, and the other, like fan art of, like, one of the demon VTubers or so. Like, I can't remember their names, honestly. So I saw it in passing thoughts, and I saw, like, TLDRs. I saw fan art of, like, one of them, and then I saw, like, the other one was like, wow, my whole original design, which I had worked hard for and everything like that, is ripped off, and everything in between. And so, like, there's going to be overlap, isn't there? Like, there's always, like, there's going to be overlap in, like, designs and everything else of that sort. Quite easily so. Like, that's like, when it comes to, like, tropes and such like that, things have been done, like, over and over to testaments of time and everything of that sort. So, like, it's not just about, like, yeah, you could be, like, a tsundere, there's more tsunderes, you could be, like, a demon VTuber, you could be, like, a succubus, there's probably, like, 5 million other, like mages, or wind mages, that exist in VTube community or so, but I don't hear about them much besides myself. Maybe it's narrow-minded or narcissistic to say, but like I'm just saying this out here. It's like I don't think of anybody else necessarily. I don't ever hear about it or like hear that overlap. If that makes sense to you here,
Replicator
you know.
falling from the sky.
I remember because it's like a lot of the comments were just kind of like, and like I don't remember how the drama ended up exactly, but like all the comments are just kind of like, even if like the designs are very similar, like the person who had like their fan art had their own design like 2 years before, and like there is overlap in like how the designs generally lined up, but at the end it's still like same archetype, I guess. Okay, it's because, like, in many other servers that I've been in, especially, like, when it gets to growing, I just don't like, in other servers or so, do as you wish, but, like, okay, like, for context, I just don't have no self-promotion in my server. It's because in, like, so many damn servers that I've been in and tried to, like, be active in so, and more, the self-promotion servers, and especially, like, if I'm gonna keep growing, it's not just kind of like, oh, people are getting to share and grow. It's like to the point where like I see it in many other servers that I'm in. You have people who like join servers, don't talk, don't interact, don't do anything else, but just like post their own work, post like, hey, their streams like self promotions or stuff like that. And it's like if that's like, and it's like, it's just kind of like, yeah, it's advertising, branding in a way, but the fact that you are literally like only doing. Like, you are only there for, like, the self-promotion of that, it really irks me off. And, right, this is just me, because, right, this is my experience with this stuff here. You have to remember, this is my own very biased viewpoint on it, but that's kind of like, dude, like, I just get so annoyed with it, and I just don't tolerate it in my server at all. It's my server, and, like, if I want to, like, if I'm, like, guesting on a stream, or just, like, one of my friends is having a celebration, like, when, like, Guppy's debut came around or so, or like or a few other people, like I'll gladly promote them and like even like put an audience pin or so. But otherwise, it's like, yeah, dude, I just hate it when it's like, hey, like welcome to the server, and the first one's just like, do you have a self-promotion channel? It's like, are you really gonna be like that, dude? Are you really just gonna join just to self-promote immediately off the bat like that? What are you doing? Like, once again, this is just me, though. I understand, I understand wanting to have self-promotion and such like that, but at the same time, it is just like, yeah. This is just my own very biased viewpoint again. I'm gonna move Waterlily to the right here. Waterlily wants to take the fight because he has his ult, and I don't blame him. But we are 2 people versus probably 3 full squads. 2 full squads of 3. So we just clear cards out here.
Throwing thermite grenade. Reloading.
No hits. Done. That was an enemy. Darn it.
Good job, brothers. We get another squad.
No reason to poke. I was about to say my arm shield's gone. I'm running out of stuff. But it's like, yeah, it's like, in other servers, it's like, it's their rules, but in mine, I just do not tolerate it. That's just me. And sorry about getting heated on that, but it's just like, like, I get that's like, hey, like, look, we are literally all content creators in the same bubble and sphere, but if you're like, if you're like an active, like, I can see arguments, like, but it's like, if I was gonna like make, you know, like make a what's its face, make a self-promotion channel, my first guidelines off the bat, especially so, would just quite honestly be, like, dude, I am not tolerating any self-promotion of any sort. And if I see you just like, yeah, post like 3 messages of like self-promotion or so, and you are not meaningfully engaged in my community at all, I'm just gonna straight up tell you. Because that's literally how the cookie crumbles. we have found 3 different squads, dude. I don't like these odds at all. I forgot to do ground on that. I almost didn't make the jump. Starting Gale Force's Discord. Self-promote will be launched on a level system? Level 5? Yeah! Yeah, exactly like that. So, like, I don't, like, I'd have no problem with, like, active members actively engaging and, like, self-promoting, because it's like, yeah, they're contributing, they're being active to the server and such like that or so. But if you, like, yeah, join, and then it's kind of like, okay, well, I'll only post, you know, like, the self-promo or, like, the art channels to promote myself. Yep, that, you are on no-fly list, sir. That is not going to fly with me. Yeah. Yeah, I think, like, I think we'll just, I think we can honestly just, like, keep it as such and so like that there for... I want to keep my server the way that it is. But, you know, Gale Force, it's going to be more public Discord, of course, you know? So if people want to do their stuff there, like, hey, who am I to stop them? That's Gale Force. That's not mine, and I'm only one say in many others. Okay, wait up, buddy boy. Down. Good stuff. You know what? We'll take those. Honestly, so. We need that stuff badly. Yes, please.
Recharging shield.
That's Kraber. Holy shit. Yes, please. Yes, please, actually. I don't need as much. Stay topped off as much as we can. Better mag. Good stuff. Alright, let's make this thing work, yeah? Okay, Dreams Community. Words for Numinous? Yeah, there you go, there you go. That's good stuff, then. You know what? Yeah. I still like gold better. We are in the ring though, and we have a million body shields to swap to in case anything does go wrong. Let's just top off real quick and then we'll just hold down. Boy, the guy was just, yeah, casually holding on to a Kraber. That is honestly a big ass surprise. Let's drop the last of my stuff. Yeah, we'll just hold on. It's top 4. We don't know who's left out of these top 4. Beacon could be nice, but honestly, like positions, we really don't need it, because what am I going to do? Get the Bloodhound alive again? Yeah, because if Bloodhound dies, I'm probably just going to follow suit just a little bit, yeah? I don't want to reveal to them that I...
Taking a moment to recharge my shields. Taking a moment to heal.
Alright, we can slowly move in. You know where one squad is, just up there on the ridge. The second one's firing at us from... Water Oh, water only. Couldn't get eyes on them at all. Sucks.
1 minute till ring close.
It's fine though. Give me the extra, and then we move up. Good. Okay, now he's good. Good stuff, boy. just need to wait for them to fight, honestly. Shit.
Scanning the area. Half a minute. Ring is near. Calling upon nature's strength.
Where are you? Shit.
Enemy spotted.
That's a good hit.
Reloading.
Don't put the pressure on him. Trying to be cautious because the other team could be a problem. Yeah, they're dropping in.
The ring is moving, fly fighters.
Hostile spotted.
We can hug the ring. Oh, we just come down to this.
Need to knock with a scraper.
Recharging my shields.
Enemy spotted.
Yeah, let them move in.
Arc star set.
Good stuff.
Hostile Scotty.
Good stuff.
Down one. Taking damage over here.
Taking a moment to recharge my shield.
They'll never shoot through this.
Ah, shit, dude. Top two. That was a nice try. It was a nice try. I should have just honestly just, yeah, used my ultimate and just tried to push them in. Because I still thought it was 3, and I don't know why. I bought out and got a little too aggressive for our own feet, I feel. But hey, look, we did our best, considering we were a man down. Too bad I couldn't land any definitive. Well, I got one, like, down, but that's the most I could really get at that time. So you need to cover Bloodhound. Game was rigged from the start. Yeah, just our fuse left. Granted, yeah, he already bled out, but it's like, jeez, dude, we just got a bad drop, and then it just went on from there.
Rock up. It's time to move out.
But, what was my topic before? What was my topic before as I was going on from there? I think my topic that I was going on about was something concerning Gale Force. Yeah, nice job, Cruzy. You're a real sleuth in the business here. Yeah, like when it comes... Oh, Geo-sama! Oh! Oh! Ah, jeez, dude. Self-promo. Yeah, dude, it's just... Self-promo is something. Yeah, it just comes... Yeah, it just really comes out to just... growing your brand is all, like... Here's the thing that I feel like people get wrong, especially when it comes to, like, growing your brand or so. A lot of people see it as the conditioning of, you know, like, we are competing on our time against each other, and, like, you know, like, I need to be grabbing the views from people before they grab them from me. And that mindset immediately is not only already problematic in one way, shape, and form. I have more ammo. I'll take the party. But, well, like, honestly, like, if you see, like, the darker side of, like, how things can pan out sometimes, Ari, with, like, how people interact with each other, yeah, it really comes to a bigger fault there. Yeah, like, it might sound absurd, really so, but there are people who feel like, you know, like, they're competing in, like, with, like, other people's time or so. They see it as, like, you know, like, that, like, as, not a competition, but as really, like, dude, you are stealing my views. I'm making, like, better content than you, etc. And it's something that is very toxic and very, very bad when it comes to, Oh, like when it comes to support structure, where the fuck is our Bangalore right now? Doing her best. Alright, I'll give her that. I lost my fight straight up, and I got flanked hard. What can I say about myself there? But, the fact is, especially, it's like, when it comes to, like, holding stream slots with each other and such, for instance, it is a bigger problem, because that says, like, just, it's like, yeah, you want to, like, grow as a content creator, get your audience up and such like that, but then, if you're actively putting down other people, because, like, I see it on Twitter all the time, Ari, like, if you've never seen it at all, like, honestly, like, I'm just glad that your feed is, you know, like, scotch-free. I guess, I don't know exactly what, like, a good idiom would be to say here, but it's, like, it's stage-free, not scotch-free, that's tape. But, fact is that, like, we're all doing our hustle here. We're all trying to get by in the business of our streaming and such, yeah? So, because of that, like, the fact that, like, people take the initiative and provocative to say things like, once again, like, my content should be succeeding a lot more than yours because I'm putting in, like, X amount of work, you don't deserve it, or such like that, or so. Yeah, it's not a good look on you as a person, and you as a brand especially, because if you're gonna start looking out for, like, collabs, for instance, or so, nobody's going to want to, like, collab with you if all that you want to do is, like, dirt up on other VTubers and such like that, just because, like, you know, like, you don't see them as, like, your equal or so. And it sounds sad and stupid, but people do that. People really do that. Yeah, Soul has that problem too when they were, like, still, like, streaming, still VTubing to their extent, I remember. And it's like, yeah, dude, you don't, like, it's like the whole thing with, like, you know, like, don't use me for clout and such, of, like, some people are literally just kind of like, hey, I'm just using you, like, or, like, your group or your friendship, really so, to just, like, further, like, my own viewership, or to, like, to get my word out here. And it sounds vile, and it is vile when it happens, because it does happen. And it happens a whole damn lot. And it's just kind of like, it's such backwards thinking of, like, dude, just work with each other here, and we can make great content together if you, like, give, like, me a chance to, like, work with you, learn more about you, and we can just, like, be good friends off of that note. If you let me?
Ready up.
Yeah, it's like, dude, like, here's the thing about, like, Iris, especially, that people, like, really, I feel like, don't understand, is that she is the latest, and she is a solo debutee, as opposed to, like, everybody else who is gens, like, who debuts in their gens. Like, how, like, I'll use, like, the English branch, for instance. That's 5 people in their branch. So, like, you could really pick and choose and say, it's like, I'm more interested in, like, this Phoenix girl, but not as interested in, like, what's to be, like, this, like, Atlantis small shark. With Iris, she is the first of her kind of, like, being a V-singer entirely on her own. No other gen mates, just V-singer, and the only other person who's been that, like, who's, like, fallen underneath that same classification, is Azuki in Japan. So that means, like, her viewer base is going to be a lot more. And how will I what? So that she could run. If you, like, if the people who say it's, like, you don't deserve the views and such just because, like, you're new, like, what about us, like, smaller streamers and such? Like, dude, it's fucking Hololive first and foremost. She gets to have that going for her. And then on the other side of that spectrum too, like, dude, once again, because it's Hololive, she's going to have, like, a huge support structure for her. She's have a lot of people supporting her already, both, like, management wise and also just like notoriety wise. Yeah, like, I get you too, Flames. Like, it's one, I want to vibe as much as I can to, but at the end of the day, it's like, it still is like, you know, like, am I doing things that like makes people want to watch me? Are people like happy? Are they enjoying my content while they watch me and such? And you're like, those thoughts are there, and they exist
Shield battery here.
to a valid degree. Degree is the key word, because they can't overtake your mind and everything in between. They can exist, but you can't let it just be all about like your views or about, yeah, X or Y. You just have to like, what? Hard pose to swallow, but you just gotta do what you can with your circumstances. Yeah. And the fact is, like, once again, it wasn't just like Hololive, it wasn't just like the English auditions to where like anybody could just apply and get in. They specifically said they're looking for singers too. They said they're looking for singers, female singers, when it came to what's his face, when it came to Iris now.
Zipline here.
Spotted an enemy. Stand back, knuckle clusters firing. Being shot at. G'day, enemy here. Deploying me knuckle cluster. Frag out. Light on this top.
Opening fire on the enemy.
All right, hold on. Let's shut up for 2 seconds here.
30 seconds remain. The ring is nearby. Enemy taken
Cover
down.
my sector.
Screw it.
Friends are coming. I have been down.
I need to go help the Pathfinder.
Input with your pals.
Taking fire.
Screw you, Wraith.
Gotta watch each other's back.
Reload. Got old mate banner.
Oh my god! I just got 3 tapped with that wingman.
Reloading. Arc star.
There you go. Get out of here.
Healing.
I'll go up, and then we'll go on from there. Oh my god, behind us. Gosh darn it, dude. I was really a second away from popping that kit.
Reload. Enemy squad dead. BK there.
It sucks. This war sucks. Banyor! I should have just popped up in a smoke! I'm a fucking idiot. I'm dead. Fuse is dead. This is all over. Ah! Mean 1%. But that doesn't mean I'm doing pretty, because, yeah. But so instead, I consider us very much so mild when it comes to these things. There's a reason why it's an unfortunately known thing that there's drama almost like literally, the fact that I see a tweet every other day of like, can we go a day without VTuber drama? I'm so out of the loop, and thank God I am. But at the same time, it's like, wait, what happened this time, guys? What did you guys do? You know? Because it's like, these things happen all the darn time. To different degrees and in different areas, but it's just like, oh my goodness. It's not the same people over and over, right? Well, it isn't. I always see like different names in different situations, but is that necessarily a good thing if like, out of like so many, it's not just like one person offending, but it's like a whole demographic that's constantly, you know, on this lesser so side of good intentions. Like, it's really a new name every other day. And I'm like, why? Just, why, dude? But, like, no, once again, for me, I'd love to do streaming full time. I really found my passion in it, and it's great. It really is great. But, I know for a fact, realistically, with how oversaturated the market is, and just, like, yeah, just how growth is, I am nowhere near hitting any big benchmarks. And that's fine. I'm just doing what I do because I like it. I'm not going in expecting to get, like, even +5 viewers. I keep my viewers up. I have no idea who's here besides like you two and any lurkers. But I love my lurkers because you just chill, you know? We just do what we can here. And that's just like how it is. Yeah, and like cancel culture just exists. Oh yeah, but like okay, Fat, you're here too. Thank you for like at least making sure I have 3 people. But like, you know what I mean? Of like, look, I don't want to concern myself with my viewers because as much as I would love to grow and like be big name streamer, topping Twitch boards or so, it's like I'm just doing things at my own pace. Okay, guys, you don't have to prove my point now. Come on.
Hey, stay on me. I'm the jump master.
You really didn't have to prove my point like that, but like
Let's touch that.
that's yeah. Okay, I have 5. There you go. Congrats, guys. Congrats. But like you proved my point. You want a cookie? I don't have any cookie redeems, so you're gonna go hungry, boys and girls. I'm tabbed in. You cannot bean burger me right now. And quite frankly, like my voice is getting dry and I'm out of water, so I've been going for 2 hours and I haven't made any progress. I was gonna call it like after this match or so. So like, if you can you refund yourself those points? I don't know how it works. Okay, I was just gonna call it after this game. Actually, I should have said. Okay, if we die right here, maybe not. We'll see. On the other side here. I thought it was on the roof. He's not. I'm just dead. Wow, dude, my frames don't exist! My frames just don't exist! My frames are here now, but you saw that shit, right? That's right, you know what? I'll just call it. I'll just take it at that sign that's a good place to stop. Shh. Even appear in my mod queue? Project Soul is like the fastest thing there. You know, like fastest mod in the West. There you go. And yeah, I can mix you guys up because you use the same damn color. And the fact that I stream without my glasses and I have chat pulled up on my second monitor, I just see a purple name and I assume it's one of you two. I'ma just keep it like VTuber 2021 with you two here. But here, we'll end things off on that note tonight. God, even my thing there just chuds because of how bad my computer is. Like, can we just live together in harmony enough? Like, fact is, it's not just stealing viewers, like, you know, like one way or another. If people want to tune into you, they're gonna freaking tune into you, you know? If they don't, they don't. It doesn't get any easier than that. Because you need to put yourself out there in making the content that people will like. With however many people there are, VTubers, streamers, anything of that sort, if you're not putting yourself on the radar in a light that's just, you're stealing my views, it's a bigger problem. But here. We'll end off tonight. We'll raid our beautiful Sakura Buns Sugoi. And thank you everybody for joining me on this Apex grind night. Even though I literally only went backwards, I had a good time and my throat is going to die on me. Just a little bit here. So, please send the love out and wherever you are, wherever you may be. Whether you're on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, or more. Thank you all for spreading the love. It's been great being your wonderful wingmate, your cruise ship captain. Let's have ourselves a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, and night now, all.